Welcome to Talent Instinct, an electrifying space where we dive into how construction business owners revamp their hunt for top-tier talent by instinctivizing their efforts. It's time to spice up relying on systems and processes and discover prime insights on how to smartly apply their most important aspect, their instinct, as well as intellect, to pinpoint individuals who don't just fit in, but flourish. Let's face it, making the right hire for your business has never been more paramount. The stakes of the wrong hire can disrupt performance, profit, culture, and succession planning. Talent Instinct isn't about playing it safe. It's about conquering with calculated instinct. Hello everyone, another episode of Talent Instinct. I'm going to talk about training people up and what it means to be able to grow your team and providing a really great environment that people don't want to leave. Because even though we've gone through this period of the great resignation, and then I feel like we've gone through this period of the great exhaustion, but I want to talk about how we make sure that we're getting people to train, like we're actually training our people internally and bringing them up. I think that it's a real missing link and a missed opportunity that people are overlooking. So they're always looking for, everybody that has the skill set that they want, rather than spending the time to train people up. Now, we've also been coming up against the challenge of younger people coming through, and, the biggest gripe they have is they're like, well, how am I supposed to get the 5 years experience if I can't even get the job? And we need to be able to bridge that gap. I also think that it's just such a big thing for companies to train their people to do it properly so they know what they're doing, and also so they can grow within the company. And then, we can go back to those days where people have longevity and stay within a business. It also really involves them in your dream, where the company is going, and it's just human nature that we all want to feel a part of something. Makes it a lot harder to leave a job when you are happy with the people that you work with. And you're invested so much time, and the business owner has invested time in you. So let's look at that. On one hand, we find it very hard sometimes because we do invest all of this time in our staff, and then they go and leave us. And then, obviously it's a cost to the business. So one way that I've gone about it, I started the business 3 years ago, and one way that I've gone about things is, I really needed someone to join the team and do the admin side of things, and just do the bulk of the stuff I couldn't do. There's so much like paperwork behind the scenes, or, adding notes to the CRM system. Every time I talk to a candidate, or we're adding notes, or a client, or every time I'm making a phone call, and that obviously takes up or can take up a lot of your time. So I hired someone, to do the admin side of things, and now I've got her doing a lot of the sort of candidate management stuff. I still obviously very much jump in and maybe talk to some of the candidates just to make sure that we're on the same page and everything's right for the client, because I don't want us to drop the ball in terms of the talent that we're providing. I've got to be honest though, my assistant is fantastic at choosing the people. Like, I probably I look at some of the choices that she makes and I'm like, I couldn't have done better myself. So, but it takes time. She's been with me a year and a half, and, it's been little bit by little bit where I've, added a bit more on, and I've, trained her a little bit more. And sometimes it's hard as a business to free that time up. I think also training people, you actually have to have a certain skill set or a special skill set. Something that I'm seeing all the time is, I've experienced a lot where I haven't I haven't had a manager probably manage me in the best way possible that suits my personality. So, I talk about it over and over again as part of, even when you hire someone, you have to recognize the personality that they are and how you're going to get the best out of them, because one size does not fit all. We're all human. We all have certain personality traits that fit into certain roles. I am, a salesperson at the end of the day. I'm a little bit of a hybrid because I can do BD, which is, getting new business on, and account managers. And in the sales world, there's not a lot of people that can do both because you have to switch gears so much. And then I actually really love the process of building relationships, whether that be with my candidates or my clients. So that's also, something that I really enjoy. I'm also a huge person that I've always been looking for not the shortcut, I'll say, but the better way to do things. Like, how am I going to do things the quickest possible way and get the best possible outcome? So, what is, if that's asking for referral work or whatever it may be. But I feel like, we really need to start investing some time again into training people up and upskilling people. And that's also going to help the bridge the gap that we have, in hiring people. It's always been a massive thing where, people do just look for, someone that has the most experience, which I've spoken about before. If you've been tuning in, I've actually touched on this before, rather than, the person that has transferable skills and, would be great. I've got quite a few instances that over the years I've looked at people, and again, it depends on the job. There's always, no matter what I talk about, there's always different variances, and it depends what the company needs. It depends where the company is at as well. And it depends what they sort of need to add to that particular company and skill, for that role. So you can't exactly get just a CFO, for example, and train them up as an admin person, can you? It's just silly. But, eventually, or when you're interviewing someone, you can ask them, what is their goal? Are they, in courses? Can we train them up? Can we start, as we're hiring on more people, can we move them around to have different, to have someone mentor them? Mentors to me are amazing. Especially when I started my own business, I've had a mentor or a trainer or something, or I've involved myself in something that keeps me accountable. We all know that it's really lonely as a business owner, as a small business owner. And, we need to be able to talk to people, but sometimes you also need someone accountable. Sometimes you need to know what else is happening in the marketplace. But again, I'm getting back to the original subject. I think that one of the massive things to do, if you can, with your business is really start looking at those apprentices, or, start looking at where in the office as well with, your admin person or whoever, where you can get them to grow, upskill, and make sure that they're invested in the business. I also think that it's great to talk to your staff about where the business is going. A lot of, over the years, I've been involved in companies, and, because we do it with sales, it doesn't mean that it's, that you can't do it with every business. I think it's fantastic. But we always spoke about, what are next year's goals? Where's the company moving towards? What clients we're sort of doing. And then that might actually stop some people from moving on because they can see where they're going to fit into that growth. And then they get super invested because they get excited about your vision. And as a business owner, you are the visionary. You know where you want your business to go. You know how much you want it to grow. You can see what's sort of happening. There's no one else in the business that knows that as well as you do. So why not involve people in that process? I think that you definitely have to make sure that if you are going to train people up and invest in the people, make sure that they do want to hang around for a long time. You need to tick some boxes and, make sure that they've got the right attitude as well. Obviously, after everything, attitude is key. Attitude is the one. And, if you don't have people that want to be, trained up or whatever, like I say this all the time, you've got chiefs and Indians, and you need both in your workforce. Sometimes I just love someone that is going to turn up to work, a bit of a workhorse, turn up to work, do their job and go home. They don't want anything else. Fantastic. I know what you are. I can place you where I need you. But then the other people you want to talk to, you want to, again, really get excited and see where you can put them, see where that vision is going to be or, where you need to upskill them. So you've got a lifelong employee and you've got... And you're keeping it better. What's that saying? Better the devil you know rather than the devil you don't. At least you know that person already fits into that culture. I think that it's just a massive thing that we need to do to start bridging these gaps of hiring. I would highly recommend it. I definitely think that, from my experience and from hiring my own people for my own company, I've been spending more and more time to do that myself because I haven't even been able to sort of find really what I wanted in the marketplace. So I went, well, you know what? I'm going to hire the people with the great attitude and the skills that I need, but I'm going to train them up. And I'm going to, make them feel important to my business because they are. And, it's such an investment. People are an investment. And you get that return on that investment if you do it right. So something that I think that everybody should really consider, see how, you can do that. See what's out there as well as in terms of like subsidies and support, government rebates. There's all of that out there as well. And again, I think it's one of those things that if you do it right, it will really come back to you, tenfold. I think that we need to really start embracing the next generation, the good, the bad, the ugly, and start working with that and see how that is going to add to our business. I think people need to really look at the new generation and not worry about what they don't have or how we used to do it different. And, we just sound like every other generation before. Every generation has said the same thing. It's nothing new. But what we need to do is we need to adapt and we need to see how it's going to work for us. And we need to, as business owners, I mean that. And we need to see how that's going to work because you've got to remember, it doesn't matter which way you slice it, that next generation is the next generation of your business. That next generation is, what you're going to have to embrace and find a way to manage and use because that's going to keep your business going. So I think that that's something that we all need to reflect on, encourage, and, figure out how we're going to have teams of, different levels of people. Me personally, I always really like to as well. I like to put teams even on site where, we will have some sort of youngins because, we all know that they're gun ho. And then, have some older people, because they will teach them sort of how to do things once and not how to, that you've got to come back. And they're a bit slower though. So it's actually like ends up, I feel like, again, my opinion, but I feel like it's what they actually complement each other. And some of the new ways of doing things as well. So, things have changed. Obviously, we've got so much to deal with these days with, technology and different systems and all sorts of stuff. So again, we just need to find ways to make sure that we're actually embracing it and we're using it to the best possible way of our business from a business perspective. So there's a few hints and clues. That's what I've been doing. That's what I would I'd give any advice to any of my clients. That's how I would tell them sort of how to manage things. Thanks for listening to Talent Instinct. I'm Chantal Penny, and if you want more razor sharp insider info on instinctivizing your hiring game, then hit the subscribe button. Oh, and remember to drop a killer rating and review. Please don't hold back. Spread the news to fellow construction business owners too. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and soak up all of my content, please do so by stalking us on Talent Instinct and my brainchild Siteforce Recruitment on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram.